What's going on, guys? RedWolfVion here with today's suit overview video. We're jumping into the Striker Custom, a raid suit starting at 450 level 1 and moving its way up. Now, precursor before I even start this, guys, I love this suit to death. I might not be the best Striker Custom player, so your tips or your suggestions are always more than welcome in the comment section below. So just remember, we're always here to help each other. So let's jump into the overview. Off the bat, you see that the main weapon that comes to the GM2 beam rifle. Now, the neat thing about this is 100% stagger on hit, so you don't have to worry about charging anything, which is awesome because you'll find out that this is a combo suit. Your main weapon by default is the knuckle dagger. However, you can switch it out for the twin beam saber. In all intents and purposes, we're going to focus on the knuckle dagger, it being its default or native weapon. Sub weapons, you have the head mounted Falcon late model. You have the Spartan Knuckle, and you have twin beam sabers, which is awesome. You have 3 melee options here. 2 are sub weapons, and 1 is your main weapon. Now, looking at the skills right off the bat, you have high performance balancer, high spec MBAC, melee combo controller, maneuver armor, quick boost, anti-blast stabilizer, Demon Blade system. Now, Demon Blade system is something that's really neat. Your attack power goes up when you're close to people in this mode, or just in general when you're in this mode it goes up. And you also gain the ability to dodge and roll. So keep that in mind and watch your gauge when you're fighting this. You'll have Force Injector, and then you have explosive reactive armor, which is very, very, very helpful. Especially this kind of suit, you could definitely rush down people and not worry about being stopped. So be mindful of the shotgun folks, though, because they can still stop you in your tracks. Melee combo controller 2, however, is of course a 3-swing combo. Just play it smart and watch your advances and jumps, and you really shouldn't have too much to worry about with the suit. As far as build goes, I have a couple of builds. This particular build here is based on attack mobility with my thruster and a little bit of HP. It's a little bit of this and that in thruster recovery. The next one is more mobility because I have 2 thruster control systems, high spec cruise control, and again, guys, this is just a level 1 variant. Your builds can vary however you see fit. A little bit of HP and thruster recovery speed recovery. Yes, thruster recovery speed. So you see the thruster gauge is plus 17 here, and the movement is plus 5. A little bit of melee, a little ballistic, and a little bit of beam resistance because we had a little bit to spare, but that's all in there. So don't worry about that. This is also because it's maxed out. If you don't see, the enhancement list is 1710. I need to actually unlock that, but we'll talk about that at a later date. And finally, the probably most used set for me personally is a tanky, a more defensive anti-melee build. You see I have melee defense, beam defense, a little bit of ballistic defense, and followed by attack, leg, and then speed. This is because a lot of times I find myself using this suit, I am definitely in the front lines. This is not a suit I want to stealth. I personally like being tanky in this suit, or at least able to combo 2 of my opponents. And this suit does amazing. 1, it's in the right hands, and 2, once you have everything down. And we'll jump into all those combo specifics here in a second. I do also, again, want to emphasize, guys, this is how I play the suit. If you see someone else play another way, perfectly fine. If you play a different way, perfectly fine. Just remember, everyone plays differently, and we're all here to share information. And hopefully this general overview of the Striker Custom can help you out area. You should go ahead and map your weapons according to where you're very comfortable with them. As you see, I have square as my main gun, and I have the knuckle as X, circle as my twin beam, and triangle as my knuckle dagger. So, like I mentioned before, you can stun when you're shot with the beam rifle. Your knuckle daggers, very nice, very nice. And I love that the lunge does the two swipe there. So you have to be very, very, very careful. Your forward, your right, excuse me, your right, then your forward, and you're down. And it again topples even on the first hit. Doesn't really matter. You have your Vulcan guns, which aren't too bad, but you probably only use these to kill infantry. They're very, very accurate though, so utilize that. So the Spark Knuckle is really cool. You have to be mindful because the cooldown is very long, and you have your left and you have a right with the Spark Knuckle. And again, like I mentioned, it takes a while to reload, so be very, very, very mindful, be very, very careful. You have your forward jab and then your left and right jab. Now the neat thing about the down swing with the Spark Knuckle is it's actually a lunge. So I would probably suggest you get used to the length, because I've whiffed a lot of hits when I think I am closer than I am. So keep that in mind, but you can do that out of a dash and kind of guide your way. Make sure you don't go too far though, because that can definitely happen. You stop, you go in, boom, very nice. And then the twin beam sabers, you got your right slash, your left slash, and your forward. And just like many other twin beam sabers, your down slash is the overhead cross, which is really, really good. Before we jump into combos, I do want to show you Demon Blade mode. When you touch your touchpad, you go into Demon Blade mode for a minute and 15 seconds, pretty much. You move faster, your thrusters don't consume as much, and you're a lot more ouchies. A lot more ouchies. Now, another neat thing is you do get emergency evasion roll level 2 while in this mode. So be very, very careful not to overdo it. There you go. Whee! We did it! Yay! But anyway, that mode is really, really, really cool. You can use it however you want, defensively, offensively. Some people use it early on before a fight. I prefer to kind of keep it as my trump card, because if you're in the middle of combat and it breaks or it turns off, you're out of luck for a little bit. You have to go somewhere and repair your things, and you won't be able to use it until your next life. So keep that in mind. It's very, very awesome. I definitely love this mode. I honestly should be better about using it myself, because sometimes I forget what some of these suits have in this mode. You get caught up in the moment. And also be careful of the invincibility frames during the suit. Of course, when you get damaged, you have to get out your suit and repair everything, because that's what everyone loves. Alright, so some combos we're going to go through here. It's kind of interchangeable. You can do combos starting with the beam rifle. Some people like to do a full cycle, which is actually you shoot a beam rifle, just Spark Knuckle, switch to another melee weapon, down them with it, such as with the daggers, and you can switch to your twin beam sword and do the cross slash. Of course, I whiffed it there, but hey, you get the idea, which is really, really cool. It's a lot to do in general combat, so sometimes I forgo the beam, the Spark Knuckles, because you have to be really close. Even with the lunge, you have to get used to your distancing and the melee. So sometimes I just like to beam rifle, knuckle daggers, do left, right, knock them down, switch to my twin beam saber, and cross slash. And that usually does a nice amount of damage. And you can finish whatever with Vulcans or backup, whatever. Just be very careful. Don't overheat on your beam rifle. I've done that numerous of times and it sucks. In some cases, you might get the jump on your enemies. Then you can actually start your combo with the Spark Knuckle right behind them. You hit them with the Spark Knuckle, the good old 1-2. And again, the reason I like the Knuckle Dagger is because of the range on it, and because I prefer coming down with the cross slash with my to attack them while they're down. Because if you notice the Knuckle Dagger, the lunge, it's kind of iffy. It covers a lot of distance, but you definitely want to be very, very mindful of that. So, especially the cool thing about this suit is you can combo multiple enemies at once, given the range. Now, you have to be careful because that means you can have someone else counter you. So, if latency is not on your side, you're battling the host and they get hit and able to somehow miraculously counterattack, your chances are double to be countered. But it all depends on the situation. But again, my general bread and butter that I enjoy: beam rifle, knuckle dagger, into twin beam saber. Now the lunge you cover, the lunge during that down slash is large, so you'll be able to travel great distances. And again, like I said, some people like to do beam rifle into knuckle, into dagger, into saber. I, however, for the brevity of time in the battlefield, realistically, I just like doing 3 things, including the initial stun and the 2 melee weapons. Now you could forgo the knuckle dagger for whatever reason and just go stun with the gun, spark knuckle, you knock them down, switch, and down them with that. But again, I feel as if you don't get as much things done. The spark knuckle is really good to kind of throw your enemies off, especially if they whiff a tackle and you back up. You can go into a forward lunge like that, and you could just boom, punish them for it. Now it's very situational, so I would say I honestly use that spark knuckle more defensively. I've seen a lot of players use it offensively, and they're awesome. But hey, that's just them. It's very fun. This suit is very, very, very awesome. I love it. It's definitely top of my raid list. Probably top 3 easily. If you haven't, check out some of those videos with this suit, and hopefully you'll give it a shot sometime. But you know, thank you for checking this video out, guys. Nothing but love. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.